Welcome everybody to Sunday, June 25th, this SLMOOC 2017, and today we're going to have a presentation from Wisdomseeker, also known as Lynne Berrett in real life. She's the founder and executive of the Whole Brain Health organization, and today's talk is New Frontiers in Online Brain Training here on Inspiration Island in Second Life. So take it away, Liz.
All right, so I can just start now and start my...
Sure, perfect.
Okay, all right. So let me start the speakeasy. The title, as you can see on the slideshow over here, I hope everybody can see it, is New Frontiers in Online Brain Training. We call our whole brain health program, WBH program, a new frontier in online brain training. And it truly is, except that we really consider what we do in Second Life more powerful than simply training the brain. Our educational program is literally brain changing. I think that the new research coming out about brain health, neuroplasticity, and neurogenesis is an amazing, I don't know why let's see if somebody has opened this up. I'm looking at my at my slideshow to make sure that it's locked. I guess it opens when you bring it out. Okay, so there's so much research being done on the possibilities for people to be able to help themselves stay proactive, keep their memories sharp, do a lot of things that we thought in the past were not possible, so I think that, and we build our program on this kind of thing. So I'm very excited about what we're doing here. So here's the logo of Whole Brain Health. And what do I mean by brain changing? There's something paradoxical about our brains. They don't like change, even positive change. It requires much less energy to think and do familiar things. Brains are smart. They prefer economy. Yet they thrive much more when they're called on to make real effort, to work hard throughout life. And we're not speaking only about mental effort. The brain is part of the body, spirit, and that larger consciousness we call mind, which make up the whole person. There's growing evidence, and we're building our program on research from a number of related fields, that a multidimensional holistic approach is the best way to stimulate and support brain health at any age. And I think you'll see that the programs we have here reflect this whole approach. Our educational method is to give our students the knowledge, resources, and actual experience to help them more consciously take charge of their own well-being right here in Second Life. And I think that's a very exciting thing. We are a collective of about 30 avatars so far who've come together to host the programs and create the activities that make this island an enriching, exciting experience. And I'm saying that because other people have told me that's what they feel. So I invite you to add your own written feedback and ideas to our collective wisdom and resources. And perhaps even consider becoming a member of our island collective. Who are our students? Our strongest focus is on lifetime learners, mature adults, baby boomers, retirees, people over 50. But what we offer is useful for anybody interested in promoting brain health and a high quality of life. Second Life already has a large number of residents over age 50, and some of them are quite famous. It should have many more. Why? The number one concern most people have as they age is that their mental alertness, especially their working memory, will inevitably deteriorate. Yet many mature people shy away from computers, let alone virtual worlds, even though engaging with Second Life would offer them so many important benefits. For example, learning to navigate a virtual world strengthens abilities like cognitive flexibility and focused attention precisely because it requires effortful use of higher brain functions. It also requires hand-eye coordination. These kinds of activities stimulate continued brain growth. Learning to deal with tech glitches strengthens resilience. Recent research suggests that resilience can best be understood as the ability to stay hopeful in the face of adversity, to keep moving forward. It's strongly linked to well-being. I should tell you, by the way, that the text and the slides here are over at the kiosk at Chilbo now. So if you missed some of this and want to go there to get it, you'll get both the transcript and you can look at the slides at the same time over there after this. Virtual environments like SL are social platforms. Available 24/7 that connect people worldwide. Loneliness, a major affliction in so many cultures now, can be relieved by finding kindred spirits here. Regular positive social interactions have also been strongly linked to better brain health and well-being, especially as people age. Yes, thank you, Maggie, and I must say that maybe you can help me make the slideshow there a little smaller. It's really fun over there to have it. It's lovely to have it. Moving around a virtual world as avatars, people can do all the things that contribute to their well-being pretty much as they would in real physical world. They can explore new kinds of creativity. They can take part in activities that give them a greater sense of purpose. They can learn about and practice better eating and sleeping habits. They can even exercise. We've held exercise programs for sitting at your desk here. And finally, mature adults have a great deal to offer others from their life experience. Here they can volunteer for charities and big social events. They can find an appreciative audience for their talents. And I think that's a wonderful thing for people. It's a front line against the ageism prevalent around much of the globe. Have I persuaded you of the value of virtual worlds for older people? Did I do a good job? Let me know in chat. Thank you. So we have two major goals we're focusing on right now. One is to bring more adults over age 50 into virtual worlds by making their entry as natural as possible. The other is to provide the kind of interactive, experiential, lifelong learning activities that will improve people's quality of life and spur their continuing brain development. Our conception of brain training is, as I've said, truly brain changing. It leads to the ongoing growth of the whole person to the end of life. And it's backed by research, which I think is so wonderful. When I first studied gerontology in the mid-1970s at the University of Michigan, I was in my mid-30s then, the view of older people was quite different. I feel very lucky to have lived this long and to know personally how much growth is still possible. I should tell you that next week I'm going to be 79. Any other questions or comments about our mission and goals? You have any thoughts, anything you'd like to say here? Yeah, some of you, thank you. Oh, that's lovely. We're meeting today in the Newcomers Guided Orientation Area, which probably needs another name. It's 3,800 meters above sea level. Oh, good. Good, Maggie. You're just a baby, right? I remember what it felt like to turn 60. It was kind of scary, you know, and somehow the older you get, the less scary it gets. I'm not quite sure why. Our sim has 4 full island-sized levels. which is amazing. We have 30,000 prims now, so we could do this. This is an overview of the ground level, and I'm going to apologize. I took the pictures, you can tell. Okay, and here is the second level, the upper platform at 700 meters. Two different views of it. One from the top, one kind of down. It shows you the center for well-being over on the left, on the bottom right slide. The ground level and second level are where most members of our collective host their programs, and visitors can also find self-guided challenges. Welcome, everybody. I hope everybody's I see people are coming. I hope they're all here. Let me just check. I think everybody made it up to this area. Okay. That's great. We have our own brain. This brain was created by a real-life researcher, an fMRI researcher, and an SL scripter. You can walk inside of it and add your own pictures to the relevant areas. And it's a great learning tool that way. These welcome boards, which you can find all over the island, I put them right here, right next to you all, give you our WBH calendar, group joiner or subscriber, a handy navigation HUD, and more. And this was made by our own Francisco Koolhoven, who's here today. I should also say that I want to introduce my Associate Director, Tuya Hines, who is just the most wonderful asset one could have here. On the third level, the Nature Preserve, a new Indigenous Cultures quest created by Mystic Academy's Venus and Dragon, will open on June 30th. Well, you're my asset. How about that? You'll want to come back for that challenge. Look for a Cultures Quest on the Globe Teleporters around June 30th. Tuya, did you want to add anything about the quest here in chat? If you do, just go right ahead, okay? So we have another full sim. These are sky environments created by a wonderful man, I think he's Norwegian, who created this one, which is based on a Chinese landscape. And the one on the third level is a wonderful, gives you a wonderful sense of being out in the open. Tuya is going to add all kinds of nature activities there as well. As Callie Pizarro's recent dissertation brilliantly shows, a sense of place, especially one in nature, contributes immeasurably to well-being. So we try to create as much natural environment here as we can. Thank you, Tuya. That's why Savannah's, we call her Sunshine, music program travels around the island. So she goes from place to place here and holds her music jive. So participants can dance in many of our outdoor areas. I think I'm wearing a kind of Indian outfit there. It's a lot of fun to put on outfits and dance to the music that she brings in. She's a wonderful choice of world music. So our current location is this fourth level. On the fourth level, buddies, who are primarily college students from an intergenerational computing class, are trained guides for mature newcomers to Second Life. We started last fall with them. They come and bring, kind of one-on-one right now, bring in people who are very unfamiliar with virtual worlds, and some of them are not so familiar with computers either. They're very patient. I train them, and they have made such a difference. So they help the newcomers learn basic skills while also introducing them to our approach to brain health. Remember, we always have the two-pronged goals, those two-pronged goals. We start off by giving the women free clothes. I just wanted to show you. If you look around here, you'll see that the clothing board over behind you has a lot of things for women who are, I would say, more professional looking, and they're all free. So if you want to take some yourself, feel free to do that. And there's, next to it is our buddy board, which allows people coming here who are lost to get help from us if we're online. If you'd like to become a buddy board person, please let me know. We do have a self-guided orientation center for newcomers who prefer to learn on their own, and some people are like that. They really prefer that. That is something we adapted from one that Grisla created for her students. It's easily reached by typing the words Inspiration Island into the location box on the login page of any viewer and following the instructions when you land at the ground center of the island. Those two little teleporters on the left, one leads up here and the other one leads to that other self-guided center. And then we have an artificial intelligence named Brain Trainer over here who talks with you, and if you use the word joke in a sentence, it will tell you bad jokes. A lot of fun. Most of the adults we have guided in so far have much preferred the presence of buddies. Typo. It makes the whole experience much more fun for them. And they don't give up as easily because they don't want to disappoint their buddies. Do you need more chairs, by the way? If we do, I think we have another one, right? I'll add one more just in case. I did say that Fran made this table and chairs, right? As well as the buddy board, as well as the whole brain health board, I should say, the welcome board. And by the way, in the transcript of this over at Chilbo, I have put in all the landmarks for all those places, or the slurls for all these places that I'm talking about. So you might want to take one over there and have that to refer to. This summer, 3 student buddies from Pace University in New York are interning with us, testing out the best ways to accomplish our goals. Our aim is to make the entry experience here as interesting and playful and immersive and rich in content as we can. So this is the question. What are the most useful basic skills to have here? Let's talk about basic virtual world skills for a minute. What would you say they are? Could you put some into local chat here? That you think it's absolutely important for people to use to have to be able to participate comfortably? Ah, good point, Ari. Communication, teleporting, feeling connected. And of course, that's a question of how you do that, right? Moving, camming. Yes, camming is difficult for most people. Finding chat and catching notice boxes. Walking, you're very basic, right? Being at ease. And that's the question, like, what helps people feel at ease here? That's one of the things we're really exploring by having people come in and then working with these seniors now who are our guinea pigs, you might say, to find out what works best. Yes, those are some of the things. Yeah, being comfortable with movement so you don't feel silly while making friends. Yes, and understanding lots of new strange words. Exactly. You know, the glossaries are kind of out of date here. We should really create one as we go along. And finding guinea pig avies. Yeah, I think the clothing thing, by the way, that's the funniest part. When people come in with the new avatars, they all look like each other. So giving them the chance to select their own clothing and put it on which is not so difficult if you're working with them, if you're actually with them, really gives them a feeling of being somebody rather than just, a cookie cutter avatar. So these are some things we have found just by working with people. So there are relatively few skills when you think about it. So people can interact with other people and objects well enough to feel comfort in gaining a sense of mastery, which is really important, and be able to make good use of their time, which is the thing I am focusing on, that this is a place where you can really make good use of your time if you know how to do it. Let's think about brain health now. Everything on this level of the sim is meant both to teach skills and to contribute to understanding what whole brain health means. Please know that this level is still very much a work in progress. And that's what you're going to help with today, I hope. What kinds of activities contribute most to brain health? What knowledge and resources will best help people increase their well-being, and how can they increase it in Second Life? What are your thoughts about that? Can you put them in chat? What do you think will help people do that, and how can they do it in Second Life? Knitting, learning new things, making friends, right? That's social activities, cognitive, learning new things, especially languages, sharing life experience. Again, very important for like sense of purpose, a sense of self-worth, that's inner growth, creativity, singing and dancing. Yes, absolutely. Music is such a big part of this. Finding and meeting with friends, keeping track of that calendar. Yes. I complained about the calendar, and it was very nice of you to explain what to do, Maggie. Yeah, so we're talking about things that you picked up on, feeling supported. Exactly. If you look there, if you look behind us, maybe I should bring it over. I didn't bring it over. There's a sign. Well, I'll show you on the slides in a moment. Right. Okay. Actually, so you've kind of picked up on the total framework that we use here, which is our logo, the ideas of our logo: to inspire, interact, innovate, and change. And then the 5 areas, the 5 domains of life that research is showing are really important to pay attention to are things like self-care, creativity, feeling a sense of purpose, good social activities, and cognitive effort, and new things, learning new things. So those are the things we're going to focus on here in everything we do, as well as teaching, while we're teaching, basic skills. So it becomes more interesting. There's content in what people do. All right. So this is the big picture we want to give our newcomers. And here's how you can help us today improve what we're doing. What I'd like you to do is to, in a few minutes, wander around this whole level. This whole sim size area doesn't have a whole lot on it, but it gives people big opportunities to walk, to fly, to fall in the water and not drown, to cross bridges, do things that require some coordination. The best way would be for you to go in pairs or small groups maybe, some of you acting as guides and others as older newcomers who are not necessarily comfortable with computers. So try to put yourself in a beginner's frame of mind for this. Keep in mind our 2 goals as you go around. What do you think works well here in terms of both the skills and in terms of introducing people to these 5 domains, to the kinds of activities that they can take part in, not only on our sim, but also throughout Second Life, once they understand the value of them and how they work? What other ideas come to you as you explore? This means taking out a note card as you go and making notes. And then let's come back here when I send out a shout in I am to you all and pool all your suggestions. So while you're doing this, and it's nice, we got quite a bit of time. I was hoping to make sure that we had the time to really do this kind of thing actively. Ari is going to be playing while you're doing it. We called it motivating music. And you can wander around for a while, quite a while. There are all different areas. Do you want to do a 1-2 count? Oh, you're organized, Namara. Yeah, and Ari's going to start playing. I think you'll be able to hear him on all the parcels because we opened up all the parcels for him to do that. So if you guys have music on your own parcels later on, please put it back in afterwards. And give yourself a chance to really enjoy doing this and think about it and bring us back your responses so we can really improve this place. Okay. I think it's great taking pictures, and if people want to just go together in little groups or by themselves, but I think it's just more fun if you can do it together, one of you being a, you know, newbie. I think we've already lost people in terms of doing 1-2 now. So any questions about this? About your mission if you choose to take it? Okay, and you can always IM me here. Yeah, just say, maybe tell people in chat or what you plan to be, and the other person can join you and be. Yeah, I can stay here or I can walk around. What would you like me to do? Tell me what you'd like me to do. What would be most helpful to you? I just want to make sure that I can kind of, okay, I will do that. Oh, by the way, I want to say the rest of this slideshow gives you some more pictures of the activities on other levels of our sim. You can use the globe teleporters or the navigation HUD to go to the actual locations at another time. I'm going to open the slide viewer so those of you who want to can actually move it around now. Okay, so I can, yeah, I'll walk around. I'll get up and walk around, which means I have to stand up, doesn't it? I do want to say, by the way, that if you can all hear me still, Miss Weatherby, who lives in Venezuela, has been having a very hard time there. It's terrible conditions there. All right, it doesn't matter, we got time. And make sure your music is on so you can hear. All right, again, I'm trying to get myself together here to go. All right, let's walk, and I'll kind of show you my thoughts as we go along. Would that be good? So the first thing that people do when they come here is to, and they usually land over here. If you can follow me. Okay, because I realize I have to be careful with you. These are all parcel boundaries, these white sidewalks. They function to help people practice walking straight, but they also show parcel boundaries for voice. So I don't want you to lose my voice as we go. This is the landing area, and people can come to it from the ground level. So they can just type in that Inspiration Island, come to the center, and if they are coming here, when they first come in as newbies, even with the buddies, the students, they all come up here by using that teleporter. And then we have a couple of chairs. I'm going to walk across the boundary over here, so I'll wait until you come with me. So here, we have them sit in the chairs first. This is how the students are trained. They sit in the chairs, so they get a chance to sit. The student helps them learn how to do that. And then the first thing they do is use their camera. So they are looking up on that mountain for the whole brain health sign, which sort of hangs out above the mountain. If you go up with your camera, you will see it directly in front of us here. Can you see it? Though this and so many of the things here, our teleporter system, our security system, were created by Maximilian Merlin, who has been extremely generous with his time and his efforts with us. And is a wonderful friend. Yes, so then we show them the clothes. And you see the buddy board here has pictures on it. There's Max made the buddy board as well. People can choose to be buddies by signing up for it with me and learning how to do it, and they can be on it or not as they choose, which is nice. They can make that decision, but they are busy or free that day. So on here, if you click on any of these pictures of the clothing, you will get sometimes just the clothing directly, and sometimes you will get a box. Of course, so we have to teach them how to open boxes, right? And what they can do is go back to this central area where the teleporter is, which is a separate parcel and allows them to set home there. And because they can do that, they can res on that small parcel, and they can res the box and open it and get out the clothing. So they can do that. And then we teach them how to get rid of boxes that way too, right? Yes. Yes, Fran and I made this. We decided it was really important to have it. So that's the first thing that the people do. They learn how to sit, they learn how to use their camera, but I hope it's a kind of a fun way to do it. Interesting things and things that motivate people, right? And then we can either go into this little house, which has a cat that runs around, and you can sit there and talk a little bit. And I start them also taking pictures right at the beginning, because I realized I attended something for Virtual Worlds Roundtable, and Sheila there mentioned that she has pictures from the first day she came into Second Life. And you know, taking pictures, even if they're bad pictures, is easy to do, right? So we have the students teach them how to take pictures of themselves. But I think that if somebody had sat with you and showed you, you would have been able to do a very simple picture of yourself. So that's nice to start developing. Yes, having people makes such a difference. They laugh together, they have fun together. They, you know, the students, yeah, the students, and these are people who take a while to begin to join things. And the students are learning at the same time. Don't forget, for them, this is a new place too. So I teach them week by week. And then they teach what they learn. So it's kind of in chunks like that. So the next thing we can do is go over to this garden. There's a Zen garden over here, and this gives, I think, the feel of the sim and a feel of offer here. So here there are interactive things, and they can learn how to sit in other kinds of places, on other kinds of seating, you know, to have a variety of things, and just keep practicing. But something interesting and something visually beautiful for them to see. And then over here, I have placed Qigong mats. So with Qigong mats, these are, I think they're way beyond the beginners, but they can just look at them at the beginning. And then later on, as they become more adept, they can come back here and actually try them, because the mat actually has them doing, for example, bouncing. See, I'm bouncing. It has them follow Spring Forest Qigong, which I actually practice. Qigong's a little bit different from Tai Chi. I like it more in a way. And you can actually do this. We have a place on the sim where you can go and hear an audio of how to use the mats and use them at home, watching your avatar, just following your avatar's actual movements. It's so close. And they're all done on the mats, so you can do it in front of your computer. So that's quite lovely, and that was made by a very skillful person. And Jen Lansara, who is on our sim, provided the audio accompaniment. As all of these things calm people, so I think things that calm people, especially new ones, are very good. So this is one of the first places we take people and have them sit down, talk with them, that kind of thing. And then over here we do a little chat thing. Click on this, this is from Branimations, and it's so cute. If you click on it, you just have to read chat, so they learn how to read chat here, and where to read it, you know, how to click on the little bubble and be able to read it. And wait, you'll see it even gives you isn't it? Now he gives those out free as part of Christmas. I haven't tried the lucky numbers yet, though. And over here, as you can see, we're watching Faust here. And a fairy ring. So this is pretty easy dancing, but it allows them to dance. And actually, most of the time, we don't have Ari here. Galen plays beautiful music on her sim below this, and the music comes right up here, so people can use that, and it's really very enjoyable, very lovely to do, isn't it? So they don't have to do anything except click again and get a chance to dance, and then learn how to get out of it. Yeah, it's relaxing to watch too, right? Although some people tell me, oh, I'm getting a little seasick. And then we teach them how to, come out of an animation as well. How do you come out of an animation over and over again? Different ways of doing that. And then over here, people always love drumming. Big thing in Second Life, right? And you can hear the drums. are in rhythm. If you take another drum, you'll come into my rhythm. And there's a nice dance ball there in the middle. And again, some of these they will come to at the beginning and do very simple things, and then later on they can come back and try dancing, for instance. You even have line dancing a little further on. Now I want to show you over here when we introduce note cards. I'm trying to get away from using a lot of note cards. One of the things that people really didn't like was the note card because there was just too much for them to absorb, and pretty soon their whole screen was filled with note cards, and that sometimes they couldn't read them because their eyes weren't that great, you know, and the note cards just had too much on them. Yeah, right. So we tried to figure out how to introduce them to note cards, not to use them around for much of anything, instead of posters telling people what to do, which the self-guided orientation center does have, to have other ways for people to learn. So here, for example, we give them instructions for a challenge, and then very simple challenge inside. They go around, have to walk inside, maneuver corners, collect 5 note cards, fill them out, and send them to me. That's called a knot garden, actually. It's an Old English form of garden. And they can get some lindens. They get 25 lindens if they send me the 5 cards. But the cards ask them questions about these 5 domains we talked about. How do they contribute to their own self-care? What would they like to change about it? What do they do for creativity? Would they like to become more creative? And then, and then they also get, when they click on the little basket in here, they get a special gift, which is a brain they can wear. Well, this is very different than when you were here before. We've really made lots of changes. This is, I say, this is way the 4th level. We've got 3 other levels here as well. So then we go on to some I think we didn't put Ari in here. I have a feeling Ari didn't get in here. Okay, here, for example, you can, if you click on any of the balls, you will get a menu, and it's a small build menu. Max made this as well. A small build menu, and you can kind of learn what you can do with things by changing their shapes, their colors, their sizes, just there. Yeah, I know. He made it public so anybody can use it. So if you click on any of these balls and change the color of the pink ball, for example, or change the shape of it if you want to see how it works. These things can spin. He's got all kinds of possibilities. So it really requires a lot of learning to do this, but you can start out simple and then come back, and then I ask people to take a picture of themselves with what they've created so that the next person comes and makes something, they have a record of what they made. And then over here we have kind of like an art gallery where there's music, there's a piano. There are books that you can read actually here. Let's go in here briefly. This place has many doors, so there are many fire exits here. And there are pieces of art here so they can learn how to identify an object, because if you can look at the art, you can see the name of the piece. And then the books are here. If you click on any of these books, you can go to the Gutenberg site and read them. Yes, the piano plays. Yes. We have a harp that plays here too, over in that knot garden. So people can sit here and read if they want to, actually read the book. And again, walking around here and going up the steps. There are not so many steps. Yeah, that's right. So many things you can do with pianos. I love that. Yeah. So, you know, walking up a few steps, opening, closing doors, they get plenty of practice, but they kind of don't know they're doing it because they're trying to get from here to there. And we keep adding books as we go along. And then we have over here, let's see what we have over here. We have some yoga mats over here, which are kind of typical yoga mats, which you can go across from the yoga mats here. And the nice thing about this place is if you use the yoga mat of the land around, that's what I like about it, because this has a surround built. And again, these are mats that are sequential, so they just carry you through a whole series of steps. But if you look with your camera around, you see that there's a great sense of openness here and a feeling of place. So now we have to cross a bridge. Now this is the first time they have to cross a bridge, and I'm sure they're going to fall in the water. But who cares, right? That's what they'll learn, that you can fall in the water. I was terrified of falling in the water at the beginning because I thought that was the end. But they can fall in and discover you can just walk up the other side. I think these places are so well made, these sky environments. Beautifully done. They're different, you see different levels to them. It makes it difficult when you try to put something down because you discover that you can't put something on a flat place, part of the grass shows through. So we have here a sweet little houseboat, and they get a chance to look at things like there's a nice bed in there, which is PG. There's a PG place here to take a bath. This little clamshell. Place to sit down, place to eat inside. So I get a chance to try some of the animations that make Second Life so special and so much fun. And then they also have to walk up the stairs inside this for the first time. They're quite narrow stairs, so that gives them quite an experience, a new experience. And we usually keep that till later. Talk. And over here, a big tent where we can have conversations if we want as a group. My last sim had a scripter as the owner of it, and he created some of the most interesting things. This is his what do you call it, a color organ. It plays music. If you go inside, you'll hear the music. Go inside the boundaries. I don't know if you can hear it. You will see the colors change as the music is played. So that gives them some sense of the specialness about Second Life, the things you can do. I think what I probably should do, I'll very quickly end this because I want to give people a chance to come back and talk a bit. This is one of those places where the ground is higher than I am. So we'll go across this last bridge. There's a little boat you can sit in and talk. There's a picnic table here that you can sit at and learn how to use things like add sandwiches to your hand. Again, some of these are for different times. When I'm working with the students during the school year, we take 7 weeks for the people to learn how to do these things. I think I'm not paying attention to where I'm walking. But over the 7 weeks, by the time they get to the 7th week, people are, of course, able to do much more than they are in the beginning weeks. So they do it stage by stage that way, 1 hour a week with the student. And I try to give them PDFs of what they're learning so they can refresh their minds. I'm going to now give people get everybody and tell them to come back here. See if I can do that with my whole group here. Okay, I think I got them all. Oh, that would be great. That would be lovely. Let's just find a chair. All right, so coming back here, I'm hoping people will come back and we can hear from people what their experience was, what they found, what they think. Thank you all for doing this project, for being willing to be guinea pigs yourselves. Let's see who is not back here yet. Okay, they're making their way back. Let's wait a moment for everybody to return. Yes, Ari, thank you so much. You add so much, and Ari plays in our gazebo every Monday at 10 a.m. from 10 to 11, and it's just a wonderful time, wonderful way to start the week. All right, let's wait for everybody to return and see what your experience was, what your thoughts are, what your ideas are, what you would add to this. As I was explaining to Maggie, she was walking around with me. Can you all hear me okay? I was explaining to her that we set this up so that people can do it in chunks. When the students are working with people, we decide what are the most basic things for them to learn. And then as they move along, over in the school year, I had people work for 1 hour a week for 7 weeks, student and newcomer, older senior newcomer. We called them their community partners. So over 7 weeks, we could go around. We didn't have this at the time. This is new as a result of having that program. I had them on the main ground level of the sim primarily. We tried to chunk things. We tried to have them start out with simple things and then be able to come back. I was thinking they could come back to some of these places and there are more complex things they can do. For example, in the Zen garden, there are Qigong mats, which would be beyond a beginner, but maybe by 7 weeks, someone could try those mats and enjoy doing Qigong, for instance. Doing some of the more complex kinds of musical animations or dance animations, that kind of thing. So we're thinking of it that way, that it can be used over time, over a period of time. Now, we know some people don't want to take 7 weeks to go through something. Those are special people who are willing to do that. So we are also working to create something very simple for those who want to do things faster or can do things faster. And that's another focus of trying to bring different kinds of people in. I think, honestly, that Second Life is going to be appealing to or attractive to certain kinds of people and perhaps not others. So, and that's fine. Looks, there's a chair if you want it, isn't there? Oh, I'll put the chair out. It's the magic chair thing here. Okay, there's a chair for you, Looks. Okay, so if you would in chat, now there's one free for you now. I put one extra one just with your name on it, next to Namara. Between Namara and Echo, I think. Okay. All right, so if you could in chat put your thoughts, the things that you've experienced that would be helpful. for us to improve this, to make it better, please do. I don't know if Peony has had to leave, but I sent her a teleport in case she's just stuck somewhere and can't get back. Yeah. Okay, you looked as though you were a distance away. That's great that you're here. Thank you for being here. Ah, okay. You can hear a voice in one place but not another. Okay. Okay, I wondered about the size of this location. We try not to make it too complicated so they can kind of see and feel that they've got a lot of space. And also, I don't know how you feel about it, but when you're walking around and able to look at the mountains at a distance, it feels different. Yes, that's a good thing. You can't fall off this, as you could sometimes off a platform, because it's got very clear boundaries. Yeah, are there any animations or any other kinds of activities that you think it would be good to have here? Okay, and would you say why you like those best? Yeah, that's true. We have to clone Ari. Yes, there are line dances on this level. They were next to the drum circle over there. I have to find a way to let people know they're there. Everybody likes it. People love drum circles. Tuya, by the way, hosts, she and Stranger host a drum circle on the ground level here every other Wednesday night. Yeah. And you know, drumming has really been shown to help people who are dealing especially with mild cognitive impairment. That's what we're trying to work on, is to reduce the need for anything that is for as much written stuff as we can. Even the hunt, I tried to keep it to a minimum. You get a lot of interesting information from the hunts on the ground level when people respond to the you know, those in the Grove of Wisdom, the character strengths hunt, and that kind of thing. But it works much better for people who are comfortable with note cards. I'm also, as I pointed out, also one of the things I thought we would do here, I don't know what you think about this, is to put some signs up, info signs here, that will lead to a website. Yeah, Fran made that navigation HUD. To the website, and we'll give people PDFs on things like sitting, opening note cards that they can keep for themselves on the computer, and they can go back and refresh their memories about how to do things when they're not here with the student. People told me that they really would wish they had had something in writing that they could get on their computer. So we're going to try to do that as well, to back up the skills. Did it seem clear to you that we were trying to give them experiences that reflect these 5 different domains of human activity? Yeah, that's a good point, Namara. And are there things you could think of, perhaps, and people can get the PDFs beyond Second Life. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. That's a good thing. These are the kinds of things to give people, especially if we're giving them a little at a time so they're not overwhelmed with too many things. I gave a course last summer that was quite complex. It used Moodle, and it used everything on the ground in Second Life on brain training, and people found going between the Moodle and Second Life was very confusing. Oh, since you guys have, one of the things I was going to ask you all, by the way, is the students are coming in to work with me because they are interested in gaming. They're all IT students. 2 of them graduated, and one of them is very bright, junior. They're going to work with me just by going around and with some of the seniors and trying to see from their point of view what needs to be done. They talked, for example, about using videos more, but they don't know how to make those things. So if you know of certain YouTube instructions that would be good for them, that's very true there. Things I can give the students so they can learn how to do some of the things that we all know how to do here. That would really be helpful. If you can send those to me, or yeah, but if you know of some really good ones, particularly because there's so many of them, if you, some that you've used that you think really work well, that would be great, because I think they would like to learn more, and they want to kind of gamify this more if they can, to make it more fun for people. Thank you. That would be so great. Well, I want to monitor the time here because it's after 3 o'clock. That's true, both true and Faust, yeah. Right. And people do question how to do things. I do need to get the students up to speed a little bit faster than so that they're able to help people more, because they come in really knowing very little about Second Life. So everything to them is sort of, what do I do here? And then they learn fast once they learn, but there's a lot of learning for them. So I know if I give them things online to look at, they will do that. They're very motivated, very interested. And they'll be with us until the end of August, so that's great too. All right, well, I do want to say, let's see what I do want to. You might want to take a copy of our Google Events calendar and the welcome board here. And you walked, flew, and swum around here. Okay. And I want to thank you all for coming and being so generous with your minds, hearts, spirits, and bodies. You did move around quite a bit. We hope to see you again here. We're a public region, always open and welcoming. And thank you so much for being here today.
Well, I'd like to thank you too, Liz. This has been terrific, and it's a eye opener. This is so different from the last time I was here. I can't wait to come back and wander around and see it all. And I'd like to remind the Second Life group that we have another event coming up at 12:30 with John Herring, who's known as John Brianna, here in Second Life. It's an art quest, and his landmark, which is in the wallboard just this minute, opened up for us to go. So I'm going to go down there and get the direct SURL and put that out in notices between now and 12:30. He starts at 12:30, and then don't forget at I think it's 2 p.m. SLT, we're going to be going to the Avillion Theater for a multi media, in a sense. There'll be songs and dances and poetry reading and letter reading from the American Civil War. It's called The Deep Divide, and that's being hosted by Bajoy. So I hope you can all join us for that, and I'll be sending out chat messages about that probably right around 1:30 Thank you, Peonia. 1:30 at Second Lifetime. And thank you, Ari. This was really wonderful. So thanks again, Liz. I'm going to shut off the recording now and see you at the next event.